Test, test, test. What's up, guys? Just loaded up this. So we're at 333. Let's go. All right. Took a lot of trades yesterday. About 8. As you can see, we're doing the 31 tick scalp. So that's test 2, test 2. Yep. Yeah. Looks like a range day. Just kidding. It's a trending day. As you can see, that's a massive trend. So this is going to be an extremely difficult day to trade. A lot of those levels of resistance are not going to be valid. A lot of those levels of support not going to be valid. The things that are going to help us, well, let's go ahead and see. Actually, let's see what our notes say. Trending day is not necessarily strong. Spikes that happen with overall trend will have more FOMO than usual. So that's something that's super key. That'll help us with a lot of our trades. What to be mindful of when this particular thing happens. Must be a trending day, obviously. There has to be an obvious side where people are trading to. In this case, it's the downside / the low side. These are treated as level of support, which requires people to be picking bottom. So look, as you can see, it's that congestion thing. So that's going to create the overall trend in that direction, meaning swing low, first entry, sell. And same thing here, but if you take a look at the minute chart, it's much more obvious there than it is here. If you look at the minute chart here in the bottom part, you can see that level of support. So yeah, and then let's see what this is. If there is a level of resistance that continuously gets stopped out, the overall trend becomes a direction. So here you have that level of support, they get stopped out, then stopped out, then stopped out. Overall trend is up there. Doesn't require any level of support to have an overall trend change. Don't know what that meant, but doesn't require any level of support to have an overall trend change. Not sure what I meant by that. Biggest moves becoming overall trend. If you have FOMO in both direction, not this case. Alright, cool. But this one's a strong trending day. I think we made something for this a while back. I think it got deleted. Yeah, I don't know where this. These notes went. It's weird because I have the strong trending day note in my phone, but not in here. Alright, well, nonetheless, we got a swing low first entry. So we could potentially go for an entry here. We have to see whether or not this was a level of resistance, because if so, that means we just busted on out of there. It's a good level of resistance here. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this was a good level of resistance. I've seen this dance before, and it's the fact that people are trying to pick those tops. That's why that becomes a level of resistance, meaning so overall trend becomes down at the point, which means to buy. If you were to take this as a double top here, or just right here, swing high, first entry, second entry, so double top, first entry, second entry, you would go for the buy right there. I wouldn't go for the buy right there, just because you're just way too high, and overall trend is still kind of up, but as soon as you bounce off of there, overall trend becomes down. Now you have that big move supported by that level of resistance there. And yeah, are we on the right thing? I think so. Might need to boost up this guy. Got a cup of coffee here. Might go get the donut soon. Alright, I know you can't really see me. Yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to fix the mic on here. Let's do that real quick while we're here. Test, 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 test. Okay, so overall trend is up. Let's see. There it is. It's a spike, two-legged correction. I think I want to go for a buy here. Just because I think that was a good level of resistance. And we just kind of spiked on out of there. I think there could be a potential FOMO in there. We have been on the strong uptrend, so maybe there's not so much FOMO. Wasn't the biggest move. Alright, we got filled actually at a better spot, if you think about it. Because technically we were supposed to get filled here, but it came down, filled us there. Alright, let's go ahead and see. I do believe there was a spike on out of there. Doesn't look like it on the minute chart as much, just because everything is like, that's a spike, that's not really a spike. So that would be the biggest thing. But I do believe there's a spike just due to the fact you had that level of resistance there and a straight push out of there. Then you had the pullback. I don't want to call it two-legged corrections anymore. We just want to call it pullbacks. And you had that pullback. The reason why not two-legged correction, because you don't always look for two legs. A lot of times it just does a pullback and you want to enter there, but you're just waiting for a two-legged pullback, which I did yesterday, I think. But yeah, just a normal pullback and the buy. So hopefully this works out. These are massive scalps, by the way. Massive. Oof. It's coming for us. It's coming for us. It's coming for us. We're gonna leave our stop exactly where it is. Get snapped out? We got that. We should have got stopped out already. So let's go ahead and exit. Let's cut this loss short. Yeah, because we should have got stopped out already. So 850 loss. I'm not too. So it wasn't a spike. It's just a big move in that direction. Not a spike. Not the strong. That's the thing. It was. I should have looked at this and said, all right, maybe that wasn't the strongest spike. I think it's just an overall uptrend at this point. You do have that level of resistance, and it's just a huge wick, so that's not really a spike. It didn't really push out of there, so we really should have sold there. So I think overall trend is still up because you're still continuously pushing higher. So I'm gonna go for a sell here, right here, if we get triggered. I'm gonna go get a donut. Hopefully it doesn't trigger. Looks like it's doing a pullback. If we push a little bit lower, we're gonna exit. Yep, actually. So I think this move is gonna have a lot more FOMO than a normal move, than like this move. So I think, yeah, just because it's with the overall main trend. But I don't think we'll be able to get a trade in here. I don't know, so hopefully it does. Swing high for a century. Overall trend is starting to look like it's down, but these moves are going to have a lot more weight to them. So, but we are making those lower lows, which is the overall downtrend. So let's actually go for a buy here. But I feel like this is wrong. But we'll stick to our gut. Even though those moves are gonna have a lot more weight to them, a lot more like weight to them, it's already been corrected. So that move has already been corrected. So I'm gonna treat this as an overall textbook downtrend. If we get burned on it, then hey, at least we followed the rules, and might just be part of the 15% because I honestly really don't see much here. Oh man, that was a slow reaction. Let's make sure that's the right signal bar. Alright. I just added a compressor and limiter on this thing. I really hope it's overall downtrend. You don't really have this massive spikes like we had. This was the last one, and now we've been on this like downtrend. So if we had like one more spike here, but this one was barely a spike. We keep getting the spikes in that direction, so maybe it could be an overall uptrend still. But I'm going to treat it as an overall downtrend just because of that level of resistance and the massive spikes down. And I think a lot of people might be picking that top. But at the same time, you do have those spikes that's declaring an overall uptrend. Let's go ahead and draw a trend line because sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But it looks like we kind of broke out of it. Let's see what that looks like. So it looks like we overshot there, tested it, then jumped back in. So we overshot, tested, jumped back in. Looks like we kind of broke out of it, but we'll see. Uh-oh, hold on. Is that congestion overall trend up? Yeah, I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4 overlapping bars. That might have been an overall trend up. Hopefully it wasn't, but you can see that congestion, so that would mean overall trend would be up. But let's hope it's not. And it might be actually. There's a lot more FOMO in that direction, so overall trend would still be up there. Let's go ahead to go to break even. I almost want to just go to break even. Or maybe it's not. Maybe with the little gap in there, and the higher push there, because this bar is significantly bigger than these guys, so maybe it's not that congestion. And here it's really just a W pattern. Nice. All right, we got it. Cool. We're up $7. That's 2 trades in. I use tally marks to keep track of everything. Test. Test. Okay, cool. Hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better. Kind of like an ASMR thing. But nice. Swing high, first entry, second entry. Overall trend was just down. It wasn't congestion. You don't want to go for a sell there unless we just spike down here. Then, but yeah, I don't think the sell is here is the best. You do have that congestion here, but it's a little bit iffy because that's just been on a strong downtrend, and these bars are massively bigger than the rest of them. So let's see whether or not we just got lucky. So it looks like we kind of got lucky, but I'm not sure yet. But anyway, we got swing low first entry. That move is going to have a lot more FOMO, but we're going to treat it as an overall uptrend, not a spike. Because it's not a spike. It's just a FOMO trend up. And you kind of have staircase highs here that we just passed that first one, matching up with the minute chart here. So then again, this is the textbook thing. I would like for it to push up a little bit higher so we can get a better signal bar and not let this one be our signal bar. But doesn't look like it's gonna let us have that. It's one tick off. Do we just push higher, buddy? Kind of want to go with this just because it's just 2 ticks off. But I would prefer it to just keep pushing higher here, maybe up into these highs before I sell. I really don't want to sell it here. We'll stick to where this is just to match up with the minute chart. If it pushes up higher here, of course, then we can go ahead and drop that order in. Oh, come on. Push higher, buddy. Push higher. Alright, if it pushes lower, I kind of want to just stay out of this because we have to sell, and I don't want to sell way down here. Yeah, let's stay out of this one. Yeah, see, the minute chart already got triggered. This one's signal bar is just messed up. I don't like it. We'll stay out of it. I don't really have a rule of thumb yet as to when it comes to inside bars. I did start at one point, like about 2 weeks ago, I started taking inside bars. If it was like an inside bar, I would just keep using the one that was inside as a signal bar, but eventually like once or twice it just kept getting stopped out. So I was just like, you know what? I just like stopped doing it. But maybe if the tick is about the same, it just keeps pushing down. And if these ticks, it's just a couple ticks away, then well, maybe we'll treat it the same inside bar. But maximum 2 ticks away. If it's more than that, I don't think I would like to take that. And maybe even like if it's at least about 50%. If it's too small, then maybe not. We won't take it, because then you're just kind of playing off an entirely different tick chart, you know. Excuse me. Nonetheless, we got a new swing high. But yeah, I think the sell there was the best thing to do. Let's see what would happen if we stayed in there. We would have got triggered just now. And you see that little pullback? That means other people got triggered too. Somewhere out there. And it looks like that sell would have been kind of good. I'm not sure if that sell would have worked. Let's see. So I think we would have entered 25 high. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 2 ticks. Nope. Yeah, our scalps are massive now. Well, not yet, at least. So it looks like there's a swing low there already. Man, the market's just moving slow today. It looks like we're gonna have to switch to this guy. Yeah, if we would have done that earlier, we could have sold on this guy right here. It already has a swing low first entry right there, and this guy has nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and switch to the 700 tick chart. And yeah, I think that's the best idea, because it's just been so slow after reaching these highs here after that spike up, just because people don't know what to do, whether to buy or sell. And it's just consolidating. People are being patient, which is good. Maybe not too much on our end. We got a swing high first entry, second entry. Let's go ahead and take a position here, actually, if we can still. Overall trend is definitely down. Let's go for a buy. Is it a FOMO move though? We did have that low. We tested it once, twice. Sheesh. This will be trade number 3. Yeah, massive scalps, bro. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, these scalps were not that big. They're much more reasonable. NT. I think today our scalps are too massive. Damn. Market's moving really slow today. Scalps are really tiny, man. You just can't predict like what scalp size should I use, you know? Because it moved up very high. Enough, even on like the, was it 21? Let's switch back to the, I guess it really depends on the day, right? Let's say a 23 scalp. How much is that? 23 scalp divided by 4. That's, alright, 5 points and 3 ticks. So let's say we bought here. Feel a little late. That's 2, 4, 5. Nope, we wouldn't have got that scalp either. So yeah, it looks like the sell there was the best thing to do. Let's figure out why. Because even if we bought, like that's a lucky trade. I don't like lucky trades. I like being right trades. So we wrote that down. Swing low first entry, second entry. Overall trend is up because, and you really do want to go for a sell because I think with that massive drop there, you have these lows and it's I think this low is pretty significant because of the way it's set up here. Now we just keep hitting that low on this trend line. If you take a look at this, I mean, golly gee, have you ever seen a better trend line than that? Just buy here, sell there, buy here, sell there, buy here, sell there. But that doesn't happen all the time. I'm gonna go for a buy here. These scalps are still massive, but we'll stick with it. Alright, if we get stopped out here, that'll be it for today. Unfortunately. Or maybe we can try and break even, but today's behavior is just really weird. Our scalps are massive, too massive for the day. Like extremely massive. This is just behaving like a normal trend, which I don't like. It's behaving like it's a normal day and I don't like it. Yep. Alright, that is it for us. I don't like this day at all. Our scalps are just extremely massive and being wrong is not something I like to do. So we got a ton of losses today. 3 losses, 1 winner. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Yeah, it's just super low volatility compared to what we're used to here. Not too sure why that is, but yeah. Buy here, scalps were just super massive. This one was a kind of a bad buy. Swing high, first entry, breaks down lower, then pushes higher on that second entry. Overall trend is most definitely down. You have these lows, keeps pushing lower. There'd be no indication on why to sell this unless you were using a straight trend line just like this. Unless just doing the straight obvious thing to do. And of course just sell at those highs, buy at those bottoms, sell at those highs. It's behaving really normal. I don't like that. Normal as in like generic, like everybody knows this. Alright, I'm trying to figure out why in our strategy did this one not work. You had a swing high. Yep, even on this guy. Maybe not a swing high there, but nonetheless, you had a swing high, first entry, second entry, bought there at the highs, huge spike down. Overall trend is down. The only thing that I could come up with is that it's is if there's a spike that I don't see and a level of resistance I don't see. So maybe we tested it, tested there, but even then it's a trending day. Kind of broke out of this like a strong uptrend, so it can't be an overall uptrend unless it is. With these moves in that direction, people could still be trying to play that since it has been on the overall uptrend. Yeah, I think that's the best excuse. So overall uptrend there means to sell. Yeah, let's go for one more trade just to see if we're right. So swing low, we'll say first entry, second entry here. Let's say that that's a huge move up. This is our signal bar. Now we're getting a level of resistance. I think overall trend could potentially be up, but this is a trending day. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. Could potentially get stopped out here because overall trend is down, but we got two strong moves up in that direction, just like every single time. It's not really in our strategy. It is in our strategy, but I think people are going to keep on trying to stick with that overall trend, so that's why I want to go for a sell here. Which is when are you able to switch? That's the real question. I think this might be it. That swing low, the way this is setting up, is kind of setting up like it's going to spike on up, but we'll find out together. The pattern's too obvious now. I think there's a lot. Yep, huge spike up here. There's a lot of FOMO in that direction. I think a little bit too much of staircase highs. Maybe not staircase highs. It's a little bit too big of a move, but it has the correction in there. Yeah, let's go for a buy. And the correction I see is this. Man, these scalps are massive, bro. Pretty sure we're gonna get stamped out just because of our strat, and just we're part of the 90%. I don't know how we are, but we just are today at least. And that's alright. We're just in a learning process. This day is a day to really study. This is like the slowest, and our scalps are massive, and just an overall bad day. We should have got stopped out if we were using the other strategy by now. But at least we got entered exactly where we wanted to get entered into. F's in the chat, boys. There's your pullback, two-legged correction, pullback. But it could have been just too big of a move and not staircase highs. So the sell there is probably the best thing to do. Yep. All right. We're really down bad. All right. All right. Peace out. I'm so discouraged. Yeah, I think our scalps are just so massive, to be honest, and it's just overall bad day.